guys, it's MJ from Alta Love. How are you? I just felt guided to share the new Earth portal grid and how it feels in our beingness, in our aliveness, that collectively we've actually cleared quite a lot of systematic programming from this lifetime. We're up-leveling and clearing the systematic programming, I guess you could say the density cellular programming from the past lineages. So we're now really moving into an accelerated clearing of ancestral codes, genetic codes, and collective programs. So the collective programming means that we're not just here, and this is like the light worker community or whatever, but then it's the remembrance and the reminder that we're not just here clearing like our personal life. We're not just here to kind of unify or heal the inner child necessarily, or like even just merge the higher self. At the same time, all of those aspects are what's allowing us to birth and be the new. So we have an acknowledgement of our emotional and psychological fusion that needs to occur to heal this lifetime, to be in our present moment here now, so that we essentially are connected and channeling source energy, which is the most expanded, highest level of energy for this finite experience. And now we're really moving into this unified aspect. Thus, the pillars of the new earth are now making manifest. So curiously as well, the 1111 portal for tomorrow is the anchoring of the new grid. So the new grid has been sort of being downloaded for ages alongside acting out the finite experience of separation. And that it's always been in simultaneity, and so living in a parallel, kind of running on parallel lines, which is why we often in our unification process, it starts all to become very paradoxical, because we're experiencing the contrast in unity, right? We're experiencing our own duality from a place of non-judgment and detachment, and that experiencing our own duality is ultimately what merges our co-creative energy stream from source into presence, or source into material manifestation. There's a lot happening on the astral planes of the planet, which means there's a lot happening in the astral fields of humanity. So people, as they continue to awaken, they're actually being supported by divine grace. So those of us who have had the kind of weird out there spontaneous spiritual awakenings, that's now grounded. So now the reason why we're able to have another mass awakening, or really one of the first obvious mass awakenings on a manifestation level, is because the light worker energy is anchored in. It's because the process has been established. The ascension or the upliftment of humanity has already happened. It's already happening. And so this idea of the evolution is actually, it's already done. It's already been created. And now it's like we're just, the only real practice is for us to be in the here now, to be in the presence of our heart space, the channel of the heart frequency of love light. So it's always the channel that is within us. There again, we live it. We don't force it, necessarily even talk about it. We're just the authenticity of our own signature vibration in dominion of our own essential nature. And so we recognize that dominion has nothing to do with external force, control, power, manipulation. Dominion is self-mastery of your own energetic vibration. So it just means that we can hold space and contain our own emotional spectrum as beings, as finite beings. So we recognize we have a holding ability, a containing ability for our own vibrational spectrum as beings. That means that we understand the container of the light-dark essence of creation, that duality of creative force in a finite existence. So it's the beauty of our linearity, actually. It's part of the beauty in our living this linear life. Like, that's part of the joy and choice of living in body. The evolutionary leap, or this idea of mass spiritual awakening, is just part of the Earth's cycle herself. It's actually not new in any way. People call things New Age simply out of a disconnection, actually, a denial of the unity of life, and thus thinking something could be new or could be old. So it's actually still an aspect of fragmented consciousness that looks in it in boxes or compartments or in separation, that thinking that any one aspect of consciousness is separate from the other is actually part of the illusion of separation. At the same time, what a beautiful experience to experience separation in unity, right? Experience separation in the force field of your own knowing that you are that. You are all that is, right? There again, we can only really truly have the experience in unity in our own heart. So when we're disconnected from the heart, we're too in the mind, which is the dominant program of the world that we live in. The construct of the world that we live in is a split conflict that the thought form or the mental capacity dominates the emotional, or the visual dominates the invisible. Visible dominates the invisible, whereas the flip of the paradigm is the reversal of that. The heart is actually helping to heal the mind and heal the fragmented aspects of the body. And really, it's the heart unifying with the mind that allows us to expand the infinite portal of quantum manifestation as well. If the mind's disconnected from the heart, we still have to mechanically control the external environment because we're not fully embodied, because we're not fully present in the energy field of our beingness, because it's the fullness of our beingness. Hence why we create unconscious patterns, is because we're not fully in our body. So the body's vibrational aura field is still outputting those holographic illusions to trigger the healing response within your body. So I hope that was useful to you guys. Just a quick little share today. The energies are just amazing right now. I gotta say, they're still purging. There's still contrast. It's all held now with a greater sense of unity, though. And so there's a lot more and more and more of us really, really rising out of duality and rising out of disempowered contrasted experience versus the empowered holding for the visual. So you're always the silent witness. That's part of my own personal experiential reality now, is that I'm just more able to kind of witness myself and be the silent observer, witnessing what's happening with the energetic exchanges, what's going on with those interactions, what's really underneath this, that, and the other. And so we're really rooting out, we're really excavating the blocks to our own bliss, right? We're excavating, you know, if those of us who've been asking for like a super happy, abundant, joyful, life, everything that's blocking that is going to come up. It's desire, test, receive. It's actually got it didn't make it to the final cut of the Fearless Life Guide, but it was about law of attraction and desire, test, receive, and that we often have this sort of like cycle of manifestation where we vibrationally might hook into higher vibrational thought and then we bounce back. So we go back into contrast, doubt, fear, denial, whatever, and then we test ourselves. It's like, do you want to go back into that? Do you want to go back to that shit? Do you want life to be hard? Do you want da-da-da-da? And then in that contrast, you're like, no, I see you. You have no power over me. Get the devil behind me. And then you choose the higher road, right? Even though again, paradox is that the higher road is actually more challenging in such a way, because it's not a quick fix. It's not an entitlement. It's not a get things for free sort of thing. It's the genuine grit of manifestation, which is undeniably truthful, undeniably aligned with the vibration. It's like vibration doesn't lie, energy doesn't lie. It's us lying to ourselves about our power, ultimately. And then once we unify that power, it's the fact that the mind then becomes a higher mind because it's connected to the heart field. The heart field is actually connected to the entirety of all of creation. So you can imagine that is a much higher frequency of thought vibration. And then the higher frequency that we're channeling here is what we're birthing. So we've got these 4 pillars now, right? And again, with All to Love, we have the 4 pillars that make up the value system and the mission, and also what I live my life by and what Team Love lives their life by. So Katie has co-produced this beautiful Zenful Zero Waste. She's been hugely monumental in Ultra Love having these 4 pillars and just co-creative with other. So Zenful Zero Waste is ready to go, you guys. I'm actually putting final touches on it this weekend so that when you buy it, we've been delivering it in week-by-week courses. We're now wrapping up with the first cohort, and I'm looking forward to sharing. So when you buy the course for £144, which is divine, sacred geometry, and it's also about divine union and balance from within the self. So coming into balance with 4 pillars of integral value. Zenful Zero Waste, come on you guys, let's clean up the oceans and start to change our consumerist patterns to hold corporation and government organizations accountable to the systems in place which are perpetuating a blind consumerist, which is destroying the planet, that we the people have to rise and change our ways to then shift that structure, right? That blind consumerist planned obsolescence, that systematic structure which is now bottoming out and collapsing. That is also what's going to help us support ourselves through the economic transition. And then the other 3. So you guys, you let me know. We're now building like a wait list, but I'm going into creation for Spirituality Simplified. Anyone new to awakening, this is going to be a really good course for people who just get a little muddled or confused with yoga and spirituality or meditation and kind of want a simple, bare bones, down to earth. If you res with me, basically you'll res with the Spirituality Simplified. I want to make it as kind of hands-on, fun, accessible for as many people as possible. But grounded in truth, grounded in research, grounded in scientific study, grounded in, you know, the merging of the intellect and the emotional field, the merging of the unification process, right? The upliftment. Some people call it ascension. So that's Spirituality Simplified. It's going to be 8 weeks. It's basically me sharing lots of juicy nuggets, lots of juicy kind of inner insights, but in a very clear way and down to earth way, and yoga and meditation. So themed weeks with 8 weeks of yoga meditation practices, which can really, really help expand your spiritual reality. And then ultimately lead you to yourself, like take you back to yourself. Again, 144 pounds. And then we've got Ulta Vegan Love. So we are all vegan, and Team Love is all vegan. So we really want to share the vegan lifestyle with you, not from a place, again, of like nutritional dominance, just we feel better living like this, and all of us love our bodies and feel good in our bodies, and that could be partly to do with being vegan. Being in alignment with your compassionate heart, with your oneness heart, means that part of you doesn't really want to inflict pain on other creatures anymore. That's also part of a yoga practice. We will give you a lot of nutritional resources to back up what we're explaining and talking about, but it's really important for us to share the vegan lifestyle because it's been so beneficial to us on so many levels. Okay, and then the final course that we're releasing, which is something that I've been practicing in my own life for almost 10 years, it's unplugged from the mainstream media. So I don't watch any news program. Actually, I don't really watch any mainstream news whatsoever, any mainstream TV programs, advertising. I don't watch TV, basically, you guys, and I don't listen to the radio, and I don't watch any news programs, and I haven't done for years. And I know clients that I work with who I help through to unplugging, they feel instantaneous results. Like they can feel a result within a day from not watching the news that day. Those who actually commit to it and take a week off, they can feel radical differences in their place of work. They can feel an improvement in actually income as well, improvement in their interaction, their daily interaction, say customer service-based employer. They actually feel a difference really, really quickly. So I felt like based on my client success rate, it's really important to get that Unplug for Freedom out to the mass, well, for you guys, basically, to be able to buy this and be able to understand why unplugging from mainstream. And then my next level, this is why the Unplug for Freedom is like pushed to the back of the launch trail. It's that I'm still navigating, finding techniques and tools to help people unplug or at least manage their interaction with social media and the devices. So there's an element of unplugging that is also us clearing from Wi-Fi, 4G, 5G, from clearing ourselves from the radio, electromagnetic wavelengths that are moving through our reality now. How do we find time to kind of dissolve that. And then after we formally launch and complete the launching of those 4 pillars of Alta Love and 4 pillars of new paradigm leaders and conscious creators, is the retreat. So I'm going to be inviting all y'all to a really beautiful, quaint mountainside town in the French Alps in Grand Bornone. We're going to do yoga by the pool, and we're going to put our phones away, and we're going to talk about unplugging and the importance of unplugging. But you could say that the celebration is unplug, so it's going to be a retreat where we encourage one another to just put the phones away and completely unplug from all devices and just be in nature and have fun and play and talk and blah, blah, blah. However, knowing that from me and from Team Love that this retreat is actually kind of a culmination of the 4 pillars. So we will talk about Simple Zero Waste. We will have talks about veganism, and the retreat will be vegan, and the retreat will be like a yoga retreat. So we'll do yoga, we'll do meditation, we'll eat vegan food. We'll talk about unplugging and the importance of unplugging. We'll talk about veganism. We'll talk about the zero waste movement, the plastic free movement. And obviously we'll talk always about how people can get more involved in Alta Love. And Alta Love always accepts tribe members, so tribe members have access to hundreds of hours worth of exclusive video content from me sharing based on the Fearless Life Guide, and then opportunities for you guys to write blogs for Alta Love, to write video blogs and all that kind of stuff, and just be guided. The other thing that I'm really working on, just due to like demand, are people. So I don't know if you guys know, but my personal private coaching rate is £100 an hour. And for some people, that's a little steep. So when I'm working with people and they're wanting to really do the work, they just can't afford £100 a pop, then I usually ask people to pay £22 a month and become a tribe member. Start ingesting more content for free, and then see whether or not you still feel guided to work with me. And then we can be, as a tribe member, when you're supporting Alta Love on a monthly basis, it kind of opens the portal for you to have access to me or access to the work on a more intimate and packaged level, which means you might pay £22 a month, and if you want to work with me, then we can work out, you know, how much can you afford per session? How does it work? Because I personally work on the individual, so it's great. I've got a lovely group of online and private clients who have lots and lots of money and can afford to pay my hourly rate of £100. For other people, they're tribe members, and they might have a session with me once a month for the tribe rate, right? Which was quite a significant discount. But mostly I'm really looking forward to expanding the online work and expanding the packages that I can offer you guys. Because Spirituality Simplified is coming out, I'm kind of holding off on the packages because I have a feeling that a lot of people can actually just buy the Spirituality Simplified course, £144, and be on your way. You know, but there are other people who, especially when we're in those phases in our lives, which I've been as well, where the money is there, and the money is there for me to dedicate and fully invest in my healing or fully invest in myself. And so I know the people I'm working with, it's just the money is there now, and they're ready, and they want to kind of just invest loads into their expansion, into their awakening, and into their transformation. I do, however, understand that money is a massive block for people. Money is a massive trigger for people. Especially when it comes to all this invisible, like, airy-fairy, new age fucking, you know, yoga stuff. People want to dismiss it. People, you know, but then when you start to see the value in it, you're going to want to pay for the services, right? So, and that's something I'm really stepping into, fully appreciating in myself, fully my self-worth, in that next level point of, like, my time is valuable, and that's why we create businesses and business models around our spiritual practices and around our deeper learning, is that the real value is the inner work that I can share ultimately with people, and that's beyond just the physical movement of yoga. It's the higher consciousness and its sensitization to your vessel, which is really the transformational work that we're doing. Which, again, any of us doing it recognizes the value in it. You know, give me a session with a kind of transformational coach any day over over like going out for a fancy meal even, or like, you know, when you think about value, it's just that. It's just what humanity is valuing. And this is the exciting times that we're living in, is that people are beginning to value the well-being. People are beginning to value the higher consciousness and spiritual work in a way that we kind of denied. And so that's part of the shifting economic flow. It's that it's kind of uprooting itself to reroot itself on a higher level than that. And again, paradoxes everywhere, because the higher level is actually the fact that it's deeply connected to Gaia's origins. It's deeply connected to Mother Earth, right? So the higher we go in our consciousness, the deeper we go into our connectivity with the cycles of this earth, with the planetary energetic frequencies, right? So we align ourselves with those frequencies, which expands our consciousness, one in polarity with the depth of our connection to the earth frequency. We're one with the beings of the universe, and this is something we have to remember as cosmic beings of light, beings of infinite information, is that we are one with the planets that we inhabit. We are one with this universe, and we are one with all of the beings that exist. And we must understand that existence only comes in contrast and co-creation. You guys, I hope that was useful to you. Have a beautiful day. I love you so much. And, oh my gosh. Happy 11/11, everybody. Happy manifesting your brilliant dreams and just being an epic creator. I love you. Have an awesome day, you guys. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Bye, guys.